I'm going to do 23 this way. I've got a set of parentheses, and inside the parentheses is all multiplication and division, which means that I can take this exponent and distribute it to each one of these factors. And because they're powers, we're raising powers to powers, so I multiply the exponents. So let's do that. I'm just going to multiply all these exponents. That will give us x to the, now what do we get? Negative 3 times negative 2. That's going to be 6. Y to the 4 times negative 2 is negative 8 over z to the 3 times negative 2, which is negative 6. And now I want to write this so that only positive exponents appear. So I'm going to take this 8, this y, and bring it down by changing the sign of the exponent, and take the z and bring it up by changing the sign of the exponent. So the z is going to come up, and the y is going to go down. The x is going to stay the same, right? Because its exponent is already positive. So this will give us, let's use a better color for this. Let's use x to the 6th. The z is going to come up to the 6th over, but the y is going down to the 8th. You know what I think I'm going to do here is I'm going to take this negative 4 and distribute it in to each one of these factors. Now, what you could do, of course, is just take this whole 9x and bring it down into the denominator by changing the sign of the exponent. So there's two ways we can go with this. Let's choose one. I'm going to just bring that negative 4 in here, so I'm going to get this. 9x to the 5th times, it'll be 9 to the negative 4, x to the negative 4. And now I've got a multiplication. Right, this is all multiplication. So I can just add the exponents. Right, this is a 1 here, right? I'm going to write that as a 1 just so I know it. And here's what I'm going to have. 9, 2 powers with the same base. So I'm going to add the exponents. 1 plus negative 4. So I'm going to get 9 to the 1 plus that negative 4. And then with the x's, we've got x to the 5th, x to the negative 4. So I'm going to add those exponents. 5 plus negative 4. This will give us 9 to the 1 minus 4, x to the 5 minus 4. So we'll end up with 9 to the, negative 3, x to the 1. And I'm going to eliminate that negative 3 because I want only positive exponents. I'm going to drop the 9 into the denominator. You know what, I'll do that right here. So it's going to be x on top, x to the first, or just x, over 9 to the third. 9 to the third is a small enough number. I can do that. That's going to be 9 times 9 times 9. Now 9 times 9 is 81, and 81 times 9 is 729. To start 25, I'm going to do just what I did in 24. Because I've got a parentheses here, and everything inside is multiplication, right? This is all multiplication inside. So we can distribute this exponent to each one of these factors. And because we have powers, 2 powers, we're going to multiply the exponents. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that now. So we're going to have x to the, now what do you get here? Negative 3 times negative 5 is positive 15. Y to the positive 3 times negative 5 is negative 15. And then z to the, really there's a 1 here, right? 1 times negative 5 is negative 5. Over. Let's distribute this negative 4 in. So I'm going to take that to each one of these factors. So it's going to be x to the negative 5 times negative 4 is 20. Y to the 2 times negative 4, which is negative 8. And then z, well, that's a 1, times negative 4 is negative 4. We could take all these negative exponents and make them positive by dropping these bases into the denominator, or I could just take this down, take this down, take this up, take this up. Maybe a little bit too much moving around. So how about if we just use the quotient rule, where we write the base, take the top exponent minus the bottom exponent. So how about x to the 15 minus 20, y to the negative 15 minus negative 8. Be careful here, right? Top minus bottom 15 minus 20, but then negative, all right, top minus bottom, negative 15 minus negative 8. And then you've got the z, and the z is going to be top exponent, which is negative 5, minus the bottom exponent, negative 4. All right, so let's simplify each of those. So this is going to be x to the negative 5, y to the, now it's going to be negative 15 plus 8, z to the negative 5 plus 4. So how about x to the negative 5, y to the, now negative 15 plus 8 is negative 7, z to the negative 1. Now, all these exponents you can see are negative, so I'm going to drop each one of these bases into the denominator. But they're still a numerator. So remember, we're using this rule right here. I'm going to use this rule. So if you have x to the negative n, you get 1 over x to the n. So when I drop these bases into the denominator, I get a 1 on top. So when I drop all these into the denominator, I'm going to get a 1 on top. So let's draw it. It's going to be 1 to the, now drop this down, and this down. And you do that by changing the sign of those exponents. So it's x to the 5, y to the 7, z to the 1. But I'm just going to write the z, not z to the 1. And there we've got it.